I'm Dan, this is Bloke on a Bike, and the word sultana is derived from the ancient Egyptian phrase for Jesus, they're disgusting. But we're not here to talk about that, let's get into it. Woo!
Instead of persevering and enduring the bad weather, you could be
training at home on Zwift. This is the classic UK weather for about 6 months of the year. My channel started documenting my commute into work, but you have to kind of ask yourself, what are your options if you still want to ride, but you don't want to ride in weather like that? For me, the answer's easy: Zwift. I have it. Why am I ruining my bike? I didn't start out with Zwift Ride and the Kicker Core. I started with just the Kicker Core, and having to painstakingly, every time I rode my bike, take the wheel off and just go through that whole process was an absolute nightmare. Just to get the disclaimer out of the way, this was not sent to me. I bought this whole indoor setup with my own hard-earned adult money. So these are my opinions. I've not been influenced by anything. I've spent the silly amount of money that it costs to buy all this myself. Take what you will of that. The challenge I had was the rigmarole of having to take my bike and put it onto the Kicker Core every day. I've got a limited bit of space in here where I can work and sit there, flip my bike over. I'm more than sure there's a far more graceful way of doing this. Now at this point, gloves are an absolute must, regardless of how clean your bike is. Now mine isn't clean here. There's grease, there's oil, there is dirt, there is muck, and it's gonna get on your hands. Then you have to carefully place your bike onto the trainer itself, and lining up where the through axle goes is a bit of a challenge. And what I noticed, that I was dinging up and I've chipped the paint all around where the through axle goes. Once you've got it aligned, pop your little through axle in, give it a little turn, hey presto, Bob's your uncle, all done. But the problem is, doing this day after day, it's not good for your bike. I've noticed that there's little chips and scratches, and you know, my road bike is expensive and I don't have the money to just replace all this kind of stuff. So that kind of got me thinking, I really need to look at a more permanent solution for my indoor training. And that's where the Zwift Ride comes in. Don't be fooled by the Zwift installation video, which is very helpful, I will say that. But the person who's installing their bike onto the turbo trainer has obviously rehearsed this a million times, and they put it on with absolute ease, like the bike weighs nothing and they've done it 5 million times. That's not true to life. You will fight with it, you will ding it, you will absolutely knock it at some point. Just be warned. I'm not going to go into too much detail of how to install the actual Zwift Ride itself on the Kicker Core, because contrary to what I said, the video is actually pretty good. And the difference with the Zwift Ride as opposed to my bike, I don't mind dinging this up once or twice, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a permanent solution. It's going to be set and forget. Other than maybe decorating in here, I don't need to move this at all. So again, lining it up onto the trainer is actually really easy. Once you've tightened your through axle onto the turbo trainer, you quite literally just click the chain release, put it on, give it a little turn, and done. Both setups have pros and cons. The pro for using your bike on a turbo trainer is it's your bike. You know, it's set up to you and you're comfortable on it. You will, however, scratch it up. It's inevitable. When it comes to moving to an indoor option for training, you really need to consider what works for you. Not just what is convenient for you, but what is also financially viable. The Wahoo Kicker Core comes in at £499.99, and that's just for the trainer. There you would need to put your bike on top of that. So if that works for you, brilliant. But that didn't work for me. If you were then to buy the Zwift Ride on top of that, it's another £749.99. And that's a lot, given that it's a bike frame, your handlebars, your smart controls, seat, pedals. That's all you get. So if you realise that actually, you know what, I'm probably not going to do that much cycling outside, or I really want to keep my nice pristine bike in its pristine condition, then I would consider going for the whole option of the Zwift Ride and the Kicker Core, because that comes out considerably cheaper if you buy them as a bundle. £1,099.99. Now, that's not cheap by any means, but if you go and get them separately, it's costing you more money. Don't let my mistake be your mistake, is the message. £1,100 is a lot of money. Let's not beat about the bush with that. But it's an investment. It's an investment in my future, in my health, and in me. And I think it's worth it. It's a price I would pay for what I get out of it. I really enjoy cycling. I really enjoy cycling indoors. I don't want any more barriers to cycling, which is rain, my mentality, my mood, whatever. If I can reduce that by paying money and having this on hand to just jump on and ride whenever I need to, I will pay it all day long. But as I said earlier, it's a decision for you, and it's a decision that you really need to carefully make. Where are you going to put most of your time on the bike? Is it out in the real world? Then do you need this? No. Is it a nice to have? Yes. Do you not have a lot of time? Is there not a place to commute to work? Do you work too far away from where you live? Then again, this is ideal. You just need to be really careful about the decisions you make. And if you've got the money to just buy everything, just crack on, do whatever you want. But I don't, so I have to carefully consider. I'm annoyed that I didn't consider it enough to buy the two and save myself a bit of money. Such is life, such is the space for content creators like me to kind of show you where not to follow my footsteps.